Hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold if you are brave, and in the wood I give you title to the gold. And that is the last part of a poem, and we've got a link to it all on our Facebook page, by a man being described in media as a modern-day Indiana Jones, who's sparked a massive treasure hunt in the mountains near his home in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Forrest Fenn, an antiquities dealer, an adventurer, claims to have buried a bronze chest full of rare gold coins and nuggets and thrilling artifacts somewhere in the hills. And the poem from his autobiography, The Thrill of the Chase, contains clues to the treasure. And hundreds of modern-day treasure hunters are travelling to New Mexico in search of gold as we speak. Forrest Fenn is on the line with us from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Hello, Forrest.
Well, how are you, sir? I'm doing very fine, thank you.
Very nice to have you on. Before I ask about the treasure, let's talk about you, because you are a very interesting man. You were a prominent art dealer for many years. What is your background, please?
Well, I'm a high school graduate, although I just barely graduated. I didn't go to college, and I spent 20 years a fighter pilot in the Air Force, and I was shot down twice in Vietnam, and I came home to build an art gallery, and I just put one leg in front of the other, and here I am.
You built a very celebrated art gallery with famous clients like a U.S. president, Jackie Kennedy as well, Cher, John Wayne. They were all, you knew them all, didn't you?
Well, the secret to getting well known in this business is to advertise full page color, and I did that, and so I had some pretty good paintings, so I attracted the collectors.
I know, Steven Spielberg, Steve Martin. So, where the treasure in the chest. Now, can you tell us, please, why you've done this, Forrest?
First of all, I'm going to correct what you said earlier. I've never said that I buried the treasure chest. What I've said is that I hid it. That's not to say that it isn't buried, but I don't want to give that clue.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, in 1988, I was diagnosed with what everybody thought was terminal cancer. I lost a kidney. My doctor gave me a 20% chance of living. And after that soaked in a few days, I just decided, you know what, I've had so much fun collecting these things over the last 70 years, and that if I've got to go, I'm just going to take some of it with me. And why not let other people have the same thrill of the chase that I've had all of these years?
The thrill of the chase, because you started, I think, collecting, Forrest, when you were a boy, and you've discovered fascinating relics from all around the world, I think, haven't you?
Well, that's right. I've always been a collector. I found my first arrowhead in Texas when I was 9, and it was such a thrill. It launched me on a wonderful trip of discovery for all these years.
And to very exotic places like the Libyan desert at one stage, I believe.
Yes, that's true. There are treasures every place you look. You know, part of my motive in writing my book, The Thrill of the Chase, was to get kids off the couch and away from their texting machines and out of the game room and out into the mountains. You know, I've spent some time in Australia. I love that country.
Before we talk about what's in the chest, you still have a lot in your possession, a lot of very rare and valuable artifacts still, don't you?
Well, I'm still a collector. I can't say I can say they're rare. I can't say all of them are valuable. You know, they don't have to be valuable for me to like them. If they're old and pretty good, I like it. It doesn't have to be expensive. Including,
I believe, a jade mask older than Jesus, a mummified falcon from King Tut's tomb.
Well, that may be stretching it a little bit. I do have some ancient Egyptian things, a mummified falcon, and I love that stuff, particularly ancient Egyptian things. That's fascinating to me.
Is it true you've got Sitting Bull's peace pipe?
I have Sitting Bull's peace pipe, yes, and people had questioned whether it was really Sitting Bull's or not, but we have a picture of Sitting Bull holding it, and we blew the picture up, and we proved that it's the same pipe that I have by comparing grain in the wood.
Fantastic. Forrest Fenn is with us. All right, so you want to get people away from their screens and into the great outdoors, and this is the primary idea behind hiding the chest?
That was the primary. Well, I had three ideas, really. One of them was that I wanted to give other people the same thrill of looking for things like I've had all these years. But, a lady asked me one time, Mr. Fenn, who is your audience for this book? And I said, my audience is every redneck in Texas that has a pickup truck, he lost his job, has a wife and 8 kids, and has an adventurous spirit. I said, that's the guy I want to fill the pickup truck up with gas and head out looking for the treasure.
Wow, the thrill of the chase is Forrest's book. So the treasure. Can you tell us, if you wouldn't mind, what is in the treasure chest?
Well, there are 20.2 troy pounds of gold. There are 265 gold coins. Most of them are American eagles and double eagles. And, they're pre-Columbian gold pieces that date to 2,500 years old. There's some ancient necklaces. There are hundreds of rubies, diamonds, emeralds, 2 beautiful Ceylon sapphires. And I also have my autobiography. I printed it. I printed it so small that I have to use a magnifying glass to read it. But I put it in a little olive jar and tightened it down, and it's in my treasure chest also. I thought somebody that might find my chest, whenever that is, would want to know something about the crazy guy that did this thing.
The crazy guy that did this thing. Everybody who knows about you and your reputation says you're genuine, and there's a chest, and we fully believe that. But what's the value of what's inside it? Do you know?
Well, I've never said it because I don't know. I've never had the jewelry appraised, and the price of gold goes up every day. And some of the coins in the treasure chest have numismatic value that exceeds their value in gold. So, people have estimated, a number of people saw the chest before I took it out and hid it. And they've estimated anywhere from $1 million to $3 million. But I don't know. But I guarantee you, the person that finds that treasure chest and raises that lid for the first time, he is just going to take a big gulp.
I'll bet. So it's fascinating. You wrote the book, I think, a couple of years ago now, and no one really picked up on it. But then you were interviewed, I think, for this may be wrong, but for American TV, I think, and then it came to the public notice. And I believe you've had to give out a couple of extra clues, have you?
Well, I made a deal with NBC News. They want me to give a clue a month for 9 months, and I told them I would do that. But I'm not gonna give any clues that are significant that will help somebody significantly in the chase. I'm not thinking about spring break or Sunday afternoon picnic out looking for the treasure chest. I'm thinking 100 years from now, maybe 1,000 years from now. This is not something that I've taken very lightly.
Okay. So it's obviously not easy to find, but it is findable in 2013. That's why they're all out looking. Would that be fair? You can find it.
Yes. In my book, The Thrill of the Chase, I wrote a poem, and the poem has 9 clues in it. If you can follow the clues to the poem, they will take you to the treasure chest. And in my book, there are several hints that won't take you to the treasure chest, but they will help you with the clues that are in the poem. It's not going to be easy to find, and nobody is going to accidentally trip over this thing. They're going to have to figure out the clues, decipher what they say, and go right straight to the treasure chest.
I'm assuming, I'm not trying to prize information out of you, but I'm assuming that if a guy, an unemployed guy in a pickup truck is driving across from Texas to have a look, you don't necessarily need local knowledge. Local geography knowledge.
No.
Okay.
The first clue in the poem is, begin it where warm waters halt. That's the first clue. If you can't figure that clue out, you don't have anything.
All right, begin it where...
I think you're going to go out looking for that treasure chest. I think you have that in your voice.
I'm getting mightily interested, actually, considering my hourly rate. that's my next question. Do you mind if someone up sticks from New Zealand and comes across and starts looking? Is that the kind of person that would please you?
I love New Zealand. I wish all of those people would come over here. I've been to both New Zealand and Australia. I love that part of the country, and I invite them to come.
Oh, good on you, Forrest. What are you getting out of it? I can see you've described why you're doing it. What satisfaction is it giving you, do you think?
Well, in August I'll be 83 years old, and I've collected all of these things, and I've had so much fun doing it. I just want somebody else to. Let me go back to your question. I don't want anybody to say that the treasure story is not true, and it's a gimmick for me to make money on my book. So to prevent that from happening, I have given all of the books to the Collected Works bookstore here in Santa Fe. That's the only place you can buy the book, and they get all of them for free. And when they sell a book, they put 10% of the gross aside to put in a cancer fund, and we're going to spend that money when we can find the right place to spend it. Hopefully some minority person that needs a cancer operation or something. We're going to do some really good things with that money.
Bless you, and I know you don't need the money anyway, because of who you are. Forrest Fenn is with us. So there must be a problem with this, though. You must be being contacted by hundreds or even thousands of people, are you?
Well, I've received over 14,000 emails. I'm getting between 300 and 400 a day.
Wow. Any proposals of marriage, Forrest?
I've had 8 women want to marry me, and my wife asked me today, what do you tell these 18 women when they call you and want to marry you? I said, well, the first thing I ask them if they have an airplane.
It's very funny.
You thought that was pretty funny, didn't you?
I did.
My wife didn't think it was that funny.
You're a great man. Well, look at what you've started. It's a fantastic quest. In your bones, do you think that somebody's going to find it soon, or do you think it's going to elude discovery?
Well, it's impossible to predict it. There have been 2 different parties that figured out the first 2 clues, but they went right past the treasure chest and didn't find it.
Ah.
But there were 7 more clues, and they didn't figure them out, but they got pretty close.
It's a marvelous idea, Forrest. You've got them all excited, and I hope the right person finds it. I'm sure you do too.
Well, I hope the person that finds it is a person that needs you. I've thought all along. I've been rich and I've been poor, and I've thought that having enough money is a lot better than having a lot of money.
Yeah, that's nicely put. Good on you. Thank you. I'm glad we got hold of you, and I'm glad you could come on and talk with us. All the best with the chase, Forrest.
Well, thank you, sir, and tell New Zealand hello for me.
Yes, well, you're telling them now, which is great. Forrest Fenn, on the line with us from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Originally, that poem in his book, The Thrill of the Chase. And we've cheated slightly. We've got a link to it on our Facebook page, in case you are interested in joining the treasure hunt.